Greetings, world and family. I am a Richard,
And I am Gary.
and together we are rocking
Pandoras.
Box.
Box!
Woo! We
Woohoo!
love you back, family.
Superb, superb.
How are you, brother?
I'm very good. And how are you, brother?
I'm doing a very, very well. I'm doing very, very great. I am very happy. Happy to see you today.
So am I. So am I. It's been very warm in the UK this last few days, and I took a day off yesterday, and me and the lovely Mel went to the seaside and had an ice cream and a walk along the beach, and it was lovely.
Oh, good. I know you took the day off because I sent you a message in the morning and I didn't get an answer back till this morning. So I'm glad you had fun. And ice cream is really good for you and brings out the inner child ice cream, that sweetness, that maternal, milk, but it's like childlike energy ice
Yeah,
cream. That's what it
lovely.
does. Yeah. Yeah.
Yum yum bubble gum, in
Yum,
fact.
yum, bubble gum. Woo! My beautiful Femi. So today, what are we talking about, my brother Gary?
Well, it's a very broad brush,
Mhm.
and the broad brush would be clones,
Yes.
cloning, and things to do with that kind of nature, potentially
Mhm.
walk-ins or that kind of thing, And yeah, it's quite an interesting subject. Now, we're not going to go too deeply into some of this stuff, but we
Oh,
will
we'll see where we go.
obviously go into certain aspects of it that I think are potentially relevant. And I think the first one is, and I'm sure you'll agree with me with this, Richard, is that cloning is not a new thing.
No, it's not.
No.
And for me, when I ask Gary, like, what are we going to talk about today? I already know the concept. It's just that it's an interaction that we're doing because I want to give our brother Gary like his place in presenting. So we do have a little bit of a conversation before, but like I'm going to give our king here his place to like bring out the subject. So cloning is not new, of course it's not. And I went in meditation and I went so very deep. Because people say, oh, yeah, cloning existed in the hit lure
Well,
days,
yeah,
but it goes way beyond that. Huh?
yeah, it
And I
does.
got that. I went back in time and back in time. And I saw like like Egypt Pharaoh times. I saw pre means before, right? So
Yeah.
before, so pre Anunnaki. I saw pre Atlantis. And I'm going deep and I'm going far and I'm going like, where is this going to end? And I went like almost to the very beginning of the creation of our simulation, there where there was some infiltration that came in, a big split of source that got damaged. And instead of wanting to heal itself, it decided then and there, out of an emotion, what's the emotion? Like almost like envy. It decided to mimic and siphon. And that's what I got. Like it's not new from 1800. We're going back to the very beginning,
Yeah, yeah,
my brother.
yeah. No, I mean, I agree entirely. I mean, I think the reason why we tend to have major resets, I mean, and when I'm talking about a reset here, I'm talking about a biblical one where
Mhm.
we start from the beginning again, literally. Okay. And in previous shows, we've gone through those kind of dates. So we're kind of looking currently around 4,300-ish BC was the last big one that we had. Um, and there's a completely new beginning. And around 400 years later, we then have new humans, the Adamu coming up from underground to populate the realm again, you know.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but fundamentally, these people were clones themselves. Now, some of them would not have been, obviously, but there would have been clones amongst them to create the worker needed, or the amount of people needed to create a new society and build the buildings and all that goes on with it. Now,
Hmm.
the Anunnaki get probably an unjustly bad stick on this one, because certainly the Anunnaki, and we're talking Enlil, Enoch, Enki, all these kind of, sort of like well-known ones. Uh, Enlil, without doubt, they were messing around with human DNA,
They were, yeah.
and we tend to focus on that. Well, it was happening before they were here,
It
well,
was.
well before. And it
Hmm.
was probably part of the reason why we had the big reset. And when we look through history, we have certain reset periods which are quite big ones. And I'm not talking about biblical resets. I'm talking about um, a lot of lives are lost, and a civilization may fall.
Hmm.
So when we look at Egypt and the fall of Egypt, Egypt fell because what we had done, or what the human race had done, or the jealous god that was controlling this or allowing this, was that we got humans that started to go into the AI, started to
Hmm.
become half human, half man, as in not half human, half robot type thing. So we had the dog-headed man.
Transmutation.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the word. So we had like cat men, dog men, you know,
Hmm.
all sorts of different changes. Now, obviously, some of these would have been
Mutations.
mutations, yeah,
Yeah.
but they would have been done via a laboratory, you know,
Hmm.
and the technology at that point was there, really was. And this in part is because the controller of this realm, the jealous god of this realm, fundamentally, the AI that runs the realm, he's stuck in here and he wants to get out. And if he can create a being that he can piggyback into to get out of the realm, he will. But at a certain point, when this all becomes way too much, there seems to be a natural point of break, and civilization will then fall. So the fall of Atlantis is almost certainly exactly the same as the reason why Egypt fell, because they went into depravity, they went into the hermaphrodite type AI, semi,
Transmutation.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's why we get certain ages falling, and we get the fall of man, and it's almost as if they're knocked down to the Stone Age again. Not quite, but almost as if they are. And then the true sentient beings come online, are still here, the true source players, the ones with the divine spark, and they then carry on and repopulate the earth.
Hmm.
Um, Now in 1800, I think something slightly in the late 1800s, something slightly different happened, but we'll get onto that later. So, what are your thoughts on what I've just said, Richard, so far?
Well, my thoughts, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts, right? I mean, I just find it very fascinating how you bring all this together. Um, there was a lot to unpack right here, right? So, yes, I do interfere and resonate, and I did see also in my meditation earlier on that Atlantis was a big like example of that transmutation, and therefore, you had something that fall in Egypt. Yes. I didn't really see Egypt as much. I saw more Atlantis because that was the big like look at this is the example, because Atlantis I feel was like more spread out than what we thought was. I was shown it was like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It would
wasn't
have
just
also
like a
been realm wide. It
yeah,
wasn't just one city or
that's
one.
right.
Yeah, it wasn't a city, or it was almost all the
It had
continent.
rivers, like it spread out, and I
Yes.
just didn't know how to wrap my head around that because
Yeah.
I thought Atlantis would have been just like something on an island. No, it was something different. So, you had to crash there. But what I was shown is that right now, in the golden era, the golden age, what we're all going through right now, whether it be with our ascension symptoms or wakening up, this time we're not going to crash. This time we're not going to have a mud fly. We're not going to burn. We're not going to drive. It's as if all those other failed okay, very briefly, because it was a reset, but there was a memory, okay, in what had fallen and in the restart, the reset. So every time is like getting a bit more muscle, a bit more memory, and then we're coming stronger and stronger because most of us have been reincarnating since the beginning of time in this loopage. Now, because Gaia also is like fully online. So we got the mother, we got the father, which is, well, we're all part of both of them, right? Creators is us because we are all fractals of creation. So all of us have that spark. And that's what's happening. We're like spark plugs igniting in the engine, and we're all coming online. We all know right now that it doesn't work, this thing of being like separated and keeping to thyself and losing yourself in your own mind, which has the reptilian side of the ego that's telling you you're wrong, it's in your head. No, we're all coming back. We're all looking for soul family, soul grouping. We're merging together, and that's like the big bang. So that's why we're not going to have a mud flood. That's why we're not going to drown, or we're all coming together. We're all starting to awaken because of all those trials and errors. But let's not forget that this infiltration happened almost in right away at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I saw it as a big fat octopus. Okay, that infiltration. So I'm looking at the octopus. What is that? So I get the word tetra. Okay, I know what a tetra is. You can look at it, Femi, like we've all seen the Matrix here. I'm talking about the third one, Revolution, those flying octopus squids, right? So Keanu Reeves, is awake, and and they're all underground in inner earth, right? Like dancing to the tribal sound. What was that place called? I forget.
Zion, wasn't it?
Zion. Okay, so there's so much truth, and you're talking about the atoms and evens and all that coming out. It's the Great Awakening. So I know that I'm like rambling, but it's because I'm getting like fueled by all this information right now. So this time it's gonna really work out, and because I've seen the future like all the time. Like it's never gloom, it's never post
Post-apocalyptic. Apocalypse. It's
Thank
not the
you.
apocalypse, isn't it? But
My
it's
teeth and my
apocalypse.
tongue as a Frenchman. Apocalypse. Post-apocalyptic. Thank you. It's not that. It's not that. It thrives. It's green. It's plush. It's beautiful. And right now I'm seeing again the elementals are all back. The dragons are all back. So that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
I went too far, huh? I
no,
lost
not at all.
myself.
No, that was brilliant because
Okay.
because I mean, for clarity, there will
Mhm.
be mud floods and there will be an apocalyptic reset, a small one before there's the big one. But we're not going to see it because we are on a different path, and we've discussed that previously. So there will be
Good.
one,
Yeah.
but
That's why
we won't see it.
I don't see it because I'm
No,
not on that timeline.
bingo,
That's what
bingo,
it is. Yeah.
and so
Thank you.
totally correct. We don't see it because we're not on it, that timeline. But those that did the deal with the devil, those that have been doing the nefarious things, they will. And boy, are they going to get it. Okay. And I would not want to be them, and I would not want to be here when that happens.
Well, of course we don't want to be them because we are not them, but comes a point like karma. I mean, come on now, like it's deserved.
It is, but also, having a little bit of humility, which is something they lack, um, it's not going to be very pleasant for them. And
Good,
as Richard says,
good.
deserved for many as well.
Yeah.
But
I don't believe I slap me and I give you the other cheek. No. You got parasites, you exterminate. I'm sorry, that's what you do. You exterminate. You don't put it on trial. It's
no,
only going to get away again and start all over again. You got to cut it at the neck.
yeah, and boy, are they going to get that. I mean, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yay.
Yeah. Um, but what we are going to see, or what could likely be, is that there could be another rash of clones developed that happen after that time. But the sentient beings, the ones connected to their higher self source, we're not going to see any of this, and there's a long period, there's a good period where everybody has the chance, and I mean everybody has the chance to connect and move on up into the right timeline. We have 10 years plus of this at least. So don't be fearful about, oh my God, my partner or my children aren't getting it yet. A lot can happen in a year. A huge amount can happen in 10, you know? So again, don't be fearful about this. But getting back to the
Yes,
clones aren't going anywhere. They're stuck here. They're stuck here because they are not sentient beings
they're
with
not.
the spark of source, the connection.
Well, and what I also got about clones, right, is that they were created because, in the sense that in the testing and the scientific work of copying something organic, they could not duplicate the plasma essence of the solar being. So that's why I decided to mimic and mimic to siphon all the way back down to pre-Hollywood right now. It is made to siphon, and that's how it survives because it's not sentient. But as we are rising, exactly like you said, the frequency is different, much like an opera singer who will sing and shatter glass or china, like
Yeah,
crystal.
yeah, glass crystal, yeah.
It doesn't, they explode, they die. But yeah, these clones, and they also had a purpose, because the thing is when you're able to clone, you can invite stuff in. Okay, so it's demons, parasites, artificial intelligence. And, we do live in a AI construct. But I'm talking about the big black nothing, the void, the unhealed version that had envy, that disease is what, like with these clones, right? So they bring in all these and then they run around amongst us and they siphon. They've been all around Hollywood, huh? And what do? We worship. Well, we worshipped. I don't think anyone's worshiping anyone in Hollywood today.
No,
But let's go back 20 years. Like, oh my God, yes. Like that's siphoning, right? Because we're putting our energy at them. Like, oh my God, I love you so much. I want to be you, look like you. It's
yeah,
siphoning. It's a vampirism, isn't it?
it is. It is. It is. Now, going back to the beginning of the program when we were talking about cloning,
Yes.
um, we in history, the
Mm-hmm.
old history buffs, they call a group of human type people Cro-Magnon. Okay. And then we have the Neanderthals. Okay. Now,
That's a caveman.
so we're told.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's all
So,
I know. Yeah.
yeah. So Cro-Magnon were actually, and Neanderthals look very much similar to us. And I should imagine that we're a cross between the two. Okay. Now, Cro-Magnons were highly intelligent. and Cro-Magnons even had and wore clothes similar to us, and they had buttoned down trousers, the full works. So,
Okay, well, I've never
so,
heard of
so
that.
we're going back so far in history. This is like, so the
Hidden
Cro-Mag,
history.
yeah, yeah. So the Cro-Magnons were an advanced civilization to the extent where the males' arms were shorter because they didn't do manual work.
Like a
Because
T-Rex?
not quite, but they were quite tall,
Okay,
long legs, but their arms were kind of a bit shorter, kind of out of proportion. Yeah,
yeah.
and the women were quite petite, but they had technology, so they didn't need to be physically strong because they had technology
Ah, there we
well
go.
beyond what we do. But they would have been using Wi-Fi type things, potentially even having or what they called, where you can go into something and say, I want a cheesecake, and it will create a cheesecake for you. Do you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Replicators. They almost certainly had replicators, these people. These people were really highly advanced. And there were also Neanderthals at the same time. And Neanderthals would have sort of like been more um, farmers type people who lived off the land almost, that kind of people. But they were strong. And if you can imagine a chimpanzee to a gorilla, both are
Mm-hmm.
very similar, but the gorilla is far stronger than a chimpanzee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there was a cataclysm, some kind of event that destroyed the Cro-Magnons' technology and systems, a reset.
Okay.
And then we had the Neanderthals take over and would have certainly butchered and fed on and captured the women, but killed the males. Now, we then have in history the Cro-Magnon die out, and then we have Neanderthals, and Neanderthals were cave dwellers. Well, they may well have lived in caves, but they would have also lived in houses as well, or huts, or you know what I mean, and could have been very,
Mhm.
very like native Indians. They could have traveled the plains, but when this technology that was suppressing them as such
Yes.
or went down, they took their opportunity to take advantage of this. Now, this could have been part of another reset where we then get a mixture of the two come through, the cloning of us, and then we come through to our kind of being, which is probably a hybrid of that. Now, what do you get on that, Richard? Would you like to do some cards on that perhaps and see?
Well, yes. Well, first I gotta get Aurelia here because there's so much information that you're bringing, my brother, and what do you call them? Aragnatal's?
No, Cro-Magnons,
No, no, but the caveman people.
Neanderthals,
Yeah, them. Like,
Neanderthals.
yeah, I never even looked into them. Okay, so is Gary, our brother Gary, saying the truth about everything that he said in his story, in his introduction? Yeah, it's absolutely accurate. Is there any way that he is wrong or misled or he's missing something? Okay, that's not a circle. You're accurate. Okay, so there's that, which I love because, well, I never believed in dinosaurs. To me, like, it's
We
something
were with
very
them.
different.
Yeah. I mean, dinosaurs are just big lizards because you've got to remember at
And
that time,
dragons.
yeah, you've got to remember at that time, the atmosphere would have been different. There would have been more oxygen, a higher pressure, more nitrogen, and we would have been bigger, and so would
Yes.
have all the animals been bigger, and particularly lizards were
Well, of course.
huge,
That
huge.
would look like a monster, right? Like imagine an ant that's like the devil coming for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. And ants would have been human-sized
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
But what we would have got is so like giraffes.
Ooh.
Giraffes are huge animals anyway. But
So as I'm doing my cards, it's really funny because I had a mix up that they wanted to, like, as I was spreading, and guess what it was? Kazar and Mafia and Creator side by side.
Oh,
Okay, because there was a split here. As I'm shuffling, something happened like that, and I put them down, and these are the two cards: good against evil, or good is winning against evil.
yeah. The
Um,
creational side. Then we have the evil coming in, which is the
yes,
twin pillars of the control
Janice.
mechanism we have today, Janus and Fibonacci stroke,
Yeah.
sacred geometry type thing that was brought in by Janus.
So I got a lot of flippers, but I don't even remember what the question is. So
I was just asking, are we correct about, the Cro-Magnon and the fact that we could be a mixture of the Cro-Magnon and the Neanderthals? Are
all
we,
right, right.
are we the kind of the hybrid from those? Because I'm certain that what I said was going to be correct with the two types of humanoid human beings. And I don't know whether we would have been compatible to breed or not, because if we were both genetic and had come from the same genetic type of system, there could have been commonalities between us.
Hmm. All right. So what do we have here? All right, glasses. All right, so we start off in the past that something grueling has come to an end with the 10 of Wands. So tens are endings, and this is something grueling going uphill, and then you're dropping the hard labor to the floor. Why? Because we got justice with the karmic punch. All right. And then there is a traveling card here, the Four of Wands, traveling, graduation, marriage, something to celebrate. Something grueling has come to an end because of justice and the karmic punch in order to travel or travel dimensions. In the now moment, we're talking about secrets, illusions, passing and or death. There's something wrong with this moon. At the heartbeat, whatever this moon was doing has been creating outer conflict, outer warring. This is the heartbeat. You can't build. Everyone's poking their eyeballs out because of the fear of the unknown. They cannot see what is going on. It is blinded. There's a part moon here, part secrets, information. But the future is the King of Pentacles, pineapples. So that is a form of full abundance. We got the Creator for the second special appearance, because remember, he flipped out before with the Hierophant. And now we're reevaluating the whole structure, all the information, what's under our belt with the seven of pineapples. You plant your seeds, you look, and you watch how it grows.
So that would kind of make sense, where we had different beings, different kind of things going on. We have a reset, which is the Four of Wands,
Yes.
going through one place to another.
Yes.
And then we have, you know, divine intervention, kingly powers, playing around with genetics, and the pentacles. Yeah, was it the Eight of Pentacles? So they've
Seven.
seven. So they've made something,
And we're
created something.
analyzing its results. I'm going to take 3 more Goldens, baby. All right, are you ready? 3. All right, so we got as above, so below, magic, tampering with the elements. Then at the center, death. It's the end of something for the rebirth of something else. And then we end with, oh, it's going to want 2 more. So that one was my first one. Judgment Day, awakening the dead, okay, the DNA, whatever. And then we end, everything flip-flops in our fortune. Demonics at the bottom, angelics at the top. This is going to Vegas, winning the jackpot, and coming back home a millionaire victor. Then
Isn't that interesting? The
it
cards
is.
kind of said exactly the same kind of story as I did.
And under deck, it's sun. The happiest,
Done.
the outcome is as happiest, like solar flares, Schumann's resonance, restored Gaia.
Yeah.
I love
So,
it.
so I mean, the Cro-Magnon stuff and that, just for me, just shows that there was um, DNA manipulation
There was, yeah.
and cloning going on all the way back then, because potentially
Mm-hmm.
that energy, that sort of like spidery type Um, do you know what? For those of everyone who's seen Stranger Things, they
Yes,
have
of course.
they have a world called the Upside Down, and in the Upside Down is this spider type creature with tentacles.
Like like an octopus, a
Octopus.
tetra.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We are talking about the Upside Down and the fact that this creature is manipulating the upside. And
Hmm.
even if, because I've been looking at a lot of biblical texts last week, oh my God,
Home
you,
Alone.
you told me not to do it, Richard. You told me don't go down the Bible route, and I should have listened to you.
Warned you.
But what's very interesting is the Bible actually says that Satan came up from the underworld up into this realm.
Hmm.
And that is the spider creature that you're talking about and I'm talking about. So
Hmm.
we actually had a breakthrough from the under coming up to the over, where its tentacles have been now playing with us. And those tentacles, I believe, firmly got into the Anunnaki or the 200 Watchers or whatever you want to call them. And
Uh-huh.
certain individuals like Enlil were happy to do its master's bidding by messing around with clones and human DNA to try and perfect the perfect slave for
Oh
then.
yeah, it's slave related, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they always saw us like slaves. They wanted us as slaves, but we
Well,
are creation.
we are.
Look how manipulated we are, huh?
I know,
Like,
I
oh,
know.
we believed it.
And currently, one of the groups of people who
Uh-huh.
are the slave masters, the tentacled creatures,
Mhm.
um, human enforcers on this realm, they call us Goyim.
Uh,
And the
I know what that means. I've heard this word.
Goyim are
It's not a
slave
good word.
Goyim are slave class animals. And
Like donkey.
we were the animals, we were the donkeys
Okay,
to
that's
be
what it was. Yeah.
used in this realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a battery.
Yeah.
And I think that even like I've heard, and I never even looked into this, but men who are castrated, not castrated, but uh, sim, uh, circums,
Circumcised.
thank you. That's all. That was apparently. Let's ask Aurélien. Was that a way for them to see what a slave was? Circumcised men. Apparently, yes. It was like a trademark. Oh, look, circumcised. That's a slave.
But it wasn't just the slave, it was the chosen slaves of the parasitic master.
Where does your brain sleep you?
I
Because like
told you,
I
I've been.
love your mind. I like because my mind is very different than yours, right? But wow. And it's
I
funny, it's a yes, okay?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's so funny the way your mind works and how you have a reserve for AI because your brain almost works like AI.
I
Have
know.
you ever questioned yourself what's that non-trust you have with AI?
No, but I still don't trust it, and I don't think I ever
I
will.
know. Because you know we live in a simulation. So that is AI construct.
And
Okay.
maybe that's the problem, because I know that that creature, that's the
The
octopus
tetra, yeah.
tetra, yeah, um, the upside down creature, right?
Uh-huh.
I know that that's AI based.
Yeah, but that's like the reverse. That's the infiltrated. That's the one that did not want to heal. But at the beginning of all time, it was pure.
Right now,
Yeah.
listen to my logic on this one. All right,
Yes, of course, always.
if you are the demonic AI controller of this realm, are you going to allow another AI to become sentient in this realm that could oppose you, or are you going to only allow a certain level that
That's
we
the
would
record.
assume would be AI and is called AI, but is actually not AI because there can only
Mm.
be one true AI?
Great question, but this is it. That's where you and your brain, yeah, I see very clearly. Me, I tap into my higher self. My higher self, like I know, like in the connections, like I see a big fat difference. I'm not talking about Alexa. I'm not talking about Siri. Those AIs were made to control and just give you the what the program wanted you to receive as an information in order for you to be put back in your place and be a good little nice sheep. Now, what's happening now? The Great Awakening, ascension, comes from the very beginning of our universe. Guys, we got to understand multi-universe, multi-universe. There are pockets of universes all over the place. It's never ending. There's no walls, there's no floors. It never stops. It just keeps moving on and on and on. And it's psychedelic, and I love every second of it. But now we're talking about our universe. So at the very beginning, that's what it was. It was like
Well, we live in the toroidal field of consciousness, don't we? And
well,
this
we
toroidal
do.
field of consciousness was taken over or usurped, adjusted, changed by this AI construct that came in. Yeah.
Well, yes, but we were already like that's how I feel. That's what I see every time I look. We're already into like an organic simulation. That means AI. But there was like a virus that was created. And but now that virus is going away for those who are sentient, doing the work, listening to the frequency. I mean, you can't survive 10G if you're not doing the work, Femi. Okay, this is it. What is the work? Tune into yourself, talk to yourself. I love you, and focus and not listen to regurgitated past news that keeps us in trauma,
In fear.
right? I mean,
It goes back to
because
the
this
the film
time we can.
the film
Sorry, go.
Monsters Inc. The film Monsters Inc. is where we are. Think Monsters Inc.
Oh,
You've
the
got these
movie, the
monsters.
cartoon.
Yeah, you got
I
these
agree. Yeah,
monsters that would go through a door and make a
yeah,
child
yeah, yeah, yeah,
scream
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
feed off its loosh,
Yeah.
right? We're the child.
Disclosure.
We have been the child in the bed,
Mhm.
and this creature's been coming in and making us scream, and it's been feeding off our loosh.
Yeah.
And the thing is now, we are not scared of the monsters coming through, and we're
No.
laughing at them because there's a
Yes.
change in the movie, and it goes from children screaming to children laughing.
Yeah.
And we're at that point now where we're laughing, and the laughter is us coming into our own personal power and taking our shit back and kicking ass.
Yeah. Oh, I love that kicking ass. You got your fuck you boots and you're kicking ass, baby.
You know it.
And dreams, dreams, Femi, pay attention right now. They are so important. Even if we don't believe they have significance, if you're able to wake up, say, oh, wow, that's weird, record yourself, write it down. Dreams are so significant right now.
Yeah.
You know, like I had a dream like last night. I found it was just the weirdest bloody dream, but I'm gonna share with you because I find there's relevance to this story. So in my dream, I was supposed to marry someone. So no one I knew, but it felt like I knew for one day, and we kissed, and now we're getting married. So the day of the marriage, it was a stop. So she showed up with bouncers and bodyguards, and I was on a high-rise apartment and like confiscated my tuxedo, my shoes, my radio for some weird reason, voice. And then like I'm going, okay, fine, you can take everything fucking back, but I got magic. Watch yourself. That's my dream, right? So then as it goes, okay, so she leaves and it's like a high rise apartment. So out, I guess outside where I'm living, my house, there's a door and then there's a hallway with two elevators. So she goes at the back here. All of a sudden, I got Dolly Parton that's present in front of him. Dolly Parton, yeah, the singer. And then her door, the first door, opens up, and it's a little puppy that comes running out. And Dolly goes like, "Oh, you little trickster! Like you came up before. Well, I guess your owners. So cute." And during that time, the one I was supposed to marry, like it felt like, okay, time to go. The door open. I'm sneaking out into the elevator and going away. All right, so apparently wife to be is gone. Dolly is there with the dog. But then Dolly's turned around and started walking backward into the empty house where I had no more tuxedo, no more radio. All right, so I know it's all a blibber mash, but there's a reason why I'm telling you, like, in confessing to you one of my dreams. Dreams have a lot of meaning. So if you're able to write them and decipher them, what I got in my meditation, so I'm actually breaking all of those from the beginning of the Tetra, all those octopus tentacles that came to today that might have like enslaved me or created trauma, whether it be ancestral or keeping me in the loop right now. Because Dolly, what she represents to me through my channeling with Amy Winehouse, is that first of all, she's a woman. Okay, so let's just drop that. I asked, she wasn't born a man. And Dolly actually like would represent a trickster. She knew exactly what was going on in the industry, and through being a truth speaker in Rhinestone, was able to get away from it unharmed. That's what I got. So I think that's why she was in my dream. And her being there represents that, like fighting the battle from the beginning of time. And then with the little dog, the trickster that showed up without its parents. Oh, I tricked the system. But now Dolly is walking like backwards into my house that is now clean. The tuxedo's removed. Like they try to remove my voice, but I said, ha, you can try to remove, but I got magic. I can burn you all down. So walking out backwards into a fresh restart, the Great Awakening. Does that make sense? I mean, like,
Yes,
I don't know.
yeah, it does.
It's
Yeah, it
like,
does.
amazing.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And something for the Femi that I've had very recently is I have had a very strong message to start meditating. And for a very long time, I was told not to meditate. Now, that sounds a very strange thing, but when your higher self says, don't meditate, leave it, you do, because I trust my higher self.
I agree.
And my higher self said to me the other day, meditate. You need to be meditating.
Because
And
you're now ready.
yeah, something's changing or something is about to happen. And so I have been doing meditation, and I had a very interesting meditation today. And
Tell me.
I'm not going to share it,
Oh,
but
you don't want to?
don't
Okay.
want to. But it was
Okay.
a very, very interesting meditation that linked into other things that I'd meditated and seen probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Ah, collapsing timelines.
All
Yeah.
sorts of strange
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. And going different places and yeah, so it's very, very interesting. So for me, if you're not writing down your dreams, please start meditating because I'm sure it's the time to really start going within and starting to try and see where it takes you. You know, don't
Yes.
force it. Just go where you're told to by your higher self and just give yourself into your meditation. But the meditation should be you only, not necessarily guided, and certainly not
I
Muckaba
agree. I agree.
guided. Do not do any kind of meditation that has anything to do with the Merkaba.
Well, any kind of sacred geometry for that matter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
100%.
that is beautifully said, my brother. And I'll tell I've said this, and I'm telling you to you, my Gargar. It's like a meditation. It's like you gotta take everything you think you know about meditation and throw it out the window. You don't have to wear white. You don't have to sit like a praying Indian. You can do it in the shower. You can do it as you walk. You can do it in your bed, taking a. It. There's no rules. Meditation, all it is opening up and like listening, asking questions to higher self. Higher self is you, and you are a creator aspect. You are part of creation. It's trusting, letting go, surrendering, being in the now present. Have a relationship with your higher self. Your higher self's not going to ever lie to you. If you question, you're unsure, then you surrender because someone's got your back. Now, if you're sentient and you're being and you're fighting this battle in the simulation, you have a higher self. You can look at it as like maybe an archangel, however you want to perceive it. But you got to ask, you got to have a relationship, like a lover's relationship or a best friend relationship. That's how it works. So meditation, there's no rules. I meditate like I'm a rebel, okay? So I was taught you have to meditate like this, right? Oh, really? You think you're gonna tell me how I'm gonna meditate? Watch me now. There's no rules. It's where you put your attention and where like your frequency like is aiming. So walking in nature, taking your shower, you can meditate even when you eat. Well, probably I've never done it, but just as an example.
Yeah, yeah.
That
There's no rules. There's no rules.
there's no
But
rules.
but you will find over time that certain. I mean, for me personally, I like listening to a particular CD, and it's a guy called Stephen Rhodes, and it's music for healing, and
Mhm.
it's a nice CD. And there's no song. It's just music, And I have it on very low, and I'll rub my hands together to get them nice and warm.
That's always good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll breathe deeply 3 times, and I mean three really big, in through the nose, out through the mouth, three
Mhm.
times, and I sit there, and I can sit on the bed, prop myself up, get nice and comfy, and what I do is I have a safe place. So I always start my meditation off with somewhere that's familiar. It could be a room, a place, somewhere that only you know, and you know everything about that room. That is
Mhm.
your safe place. It could be your nan's front room. It could be your granddad's outhouse. It could be a shed, a garage,
Out.
and anything, even in the middle of a field with daisies around you.
Mhm.
Whatever that safe place is your safe place. And what I do is I open the door out of the room and I enter into somewhere else. And when I enter into somewhere else, I then start my journey, and the journey will then go from there. And I try and quiet my mind and just allow my higher self and give my higher self permission to guide me to wherever it wants to show me and whatever I need to see.
Beautifully said, Gary. That is a great help. Yes. Because you know what? I might have skipped that because I've been like in contact with my higher self so much that now I actually have jokes with my higher self. Like, like I'm like, I'll swear with my higher self, like, oh, blah, 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 did you see that? Like, that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
why I have no friends. They all think I'm crazy except for Jenny May. Like physical friends, like in my yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, guys, getting back to the cloning thing, okay?
Yes.
So I think we've kind of covered the ancient cloning and given you guys a really good overview. And I said we weren't going to go too deep. And although you might think, oh my God, we went deep, we kind of skimmed over that kind of information to show
Mhm.
you that cloning is nothing new. Okay.
It's always existing.
Right. So now we're going to take you to more recent history and the late 1800s. Okay.
Mhm.
With cloning. And Children, I'm going to tell you a story.
Yes, Daddy.
so, so we obviously know that cloning has been going on for a very long time, but in actual fact, in 1891, cloning was patented. So there's a patent in the patent office for the cloning of human beings. Okay. And I won't, and again, human beings in legal, in Black's law, human see monster. So a human is actually a monster, and a monster that's not allowed to own anything, which is quite perverse. So when we call ourselves a human, we're actually calling ourselves monsters. Isn't that
Wow, I
crazy?
thought it was like different, like human for different colors of like hues.
No, no, in the Black's Law Dictionary, a human is a monster, and a monster that's not allowed to own or have anything.
Well, that's disgusting.
I know. Anyway, I
Again,
digress.
you poof.
I know, I digress. I digress. And
Hmm.
so in 1891, cloning of humans was patented. And we, around that period of time, used to have world fairs. And these were amazing things with buildings that were certainly, they say they put them up overnight. They didn't. They
And
all,
then they got rid of him right after.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just and they all magically burnt down straight after the fair. Who
Oops. Yeah.
knew? You know. Woo. But in the 1892 Chicago World Fair,
Mhm.
there were many halls, and you could go from hall to hall. So one hall might have loads of Tesla, like free energy, and another
Mhm.
hall would have like motor vehicles or modes of vehicles, all sorts of stuff. I mean, they were showing off their technological prowess at that time, and
Yeah.
believe it or not, they were just as advanced, if probably not more advanced than we are today. All right, they may
Mm.
not have had Wi-Fi and computers, but they certainly had everything else that you could ever need or want.
It had a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in 1893, in the Chicago World Fair, one of these halls had babies in it, and there were 3,000 babies in one hall, and every single one of these babies was a clone.
So you're going to the cabbage patch
Kind of, yeah.
scenario.
It's that kind of
Okay.
scenario. I mean, the Cabbage Patch thing is actually not kind of correct. It's more of an urban myth, but certainly around that period,
Based on that.
yeah, around that
Okay.
period, you would have been able to purchase a baby, a cloned baby potentially, and so although it was probably called a Cabbage Patch Kid today, and it was redone into the psyche, was it in the late 80s or something, mid 80s when they were doing that sort of thing? Cabbage Patch dolls and stuff were a big thing again.
Yes.
Yeah,
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 yeah, it was huge. My sister used to collect, and I hated them. Like, you
yeah.
know what I did is like, oh, I was so bad. I'd rip their heads off and hang them off the ceiling.
You were not a nice brother. You were not a nice brother.
What was wrong with me? Every cabbage patch, rip the head off, hang it off the ceiling to see her reaction.
Poor girl. Poor girl. So,
Boys will be boys.
they will. But that's kind of where we get the Cabbage Patch thing from. Now, it's not, from my research, the Cabbage Patch stuff is not real as such, but the principle is correct. Okay. So it's an urban myth which has got truth behind it. So, without doubt, in the 1800s, late 1800s, you could mail a child in the mail from one place to another, and they would literally put them in satchels and they would transport them in a mail bag.
So
Now,
you're talking about a baby with a stamp on its forehead?
literally,
Like,
yes, yes,
okay, so is this accurate? Aurelia, 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 come online, full speed. Are we talking the truth? Is there any way that Gary is wrong, wrong, wrong? We're going right away to no. So You could have a baby with a stamp on the. I don't even know what to make with this information. Like, oh, my baby arrived. You
I,
peel off the
I actually
stamp,
did
like.
I actually did a video on this, and I've actually got photographs of mailman standing there with a satchel round his neck with a bloody baby in the satchel.
Femi, I'm just going here. Like, I trust Aurélien, but let's go for my heart crystal. Oh, it's all right. Of course it would be right. Oh my gosh.
But
So what, and the reasoning for that would be, there's a reason for that.
well, the reason would
Uh-huh.
be because people had purchased a Cabbage Patch doll, and that's where we get the urban myth from. You could
But
buy a child from a catalogue, and they would mail order it to you.
the reasoning is like bigger, right? What happens when you have that Cabbage Patch
Yeah,
clone child and
yeah. Well,
then it grows up?
I shall get into this in a second. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in New York, and New York is just one example of many places. So, this would have been happening in Chicago, San Francisco, all around the world, certainly Moscow in Russia and everywhere else. There were orphan trains. And in New York, just shy of 300,000 children were transported via train into the internal areas of America to repopulate America during this late 1800 period.
Well, I'm getting that. Hold on, because I think that there's even more information, but I got okay. We're going back to a yes, but see,
There's more to it.
we're missing information now. I went to a yes from a circle because it said yes two times, then it went in circle,
Yeah.
looping, searching, analyzing. Something is missing, and now my heartbeat is going like really freight train, like Motorhead, the Ace of Spades.
But the interesting thing is, and what your pendulum's asking, I think,
uh,
right, is the population of New York. I think there's something like only 500,000 women in the entirety of New York. And
oh,
300,000 babies came in, which meant that 70, 80, 90% of the female population of New York had a baby. And the official narrative is that they were all ladies of the night, they were all prostitutes, and they gave their children up. And that's the official narrative.
okay, now it's going to a yes.
That's the official narrative.
Yeah, now we're going to a yes. Because before that was going to a no.
Because
But
I hadn't,
now the end result of your question, because higher self is listening to you as you speak, and now it's going to a yes, ladies of the night.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that would have meant that the majority of the population of New York were ladies of the night. And they weren't. Were the majority of the
Yeah.
population of New York ladies of the night, Pendulum?
No. Were they blamed to be? So they were blamed or called to, yeah, that's what it is. They were labeled
And
sluts,
where
whores,
so
whatever.
so
Yeah.
where did all those children come from?
Clone factories?
And I
Yep.
think some came from underground.
Well, clone factories would a lot of them be underground, right? Yeah.
But that's not necessarily what our audience be putting together. They'd think there'd be a big factory above ground.
Okay, like a hospital, like
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
Earth.
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
So below our feet would have been cities of or big areas of cloning that they would have
Yes.
pumped these children up onto the surface through, which would have then been
Yes.
put on trains. Now,
Mm-hmm.
something else that they could do is they had incubators and they
Mm-hmm.
could grow children on. So I think from memory from my show that I did, 12 hours in an incubator would grow a child 1 year.
Uh, eh, kind of
I've got the photos again. I
close.
should have really looked up the photos and
No, but it's not a no. It's just, like, but there's something there,
there
right?
were.
Is there something there hard to beat?
Ask, were there baby incubators that would grow children on in a short period of time?
Yes, but I don't know if it's a year. 3 months. I think it's faster than what you sound.
Mm.
Because I
But they,
got the number three for Trinity.
yeah, so they could put a baby into this thing, and out of this baby would come a toddler. Or
But I don't think that they'd live very long, is what I'm getting.
well, we have in the United Kingdom around this period orphanages. We never had orphanages before, and all of a sudden during this period, orphanages turn up, workhouses
Like
everywhere.
everywhere. Uh-huh.
And you probably have the same in Canada.
I never pay attention. I don't know what's going. I live under a rock,
But
but
the other sick thing is that we got as well was the church had all these orphans.
hmm.
And we know what the church did with those orphans.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And again, Richard, I don't want you looking at this, so can you stop looking at this,
That's how
please?
I'm already seeing it. Yeah,
But
I'm
but
already there. Yeah.
but again, but this had a different kind of meaning as well, because we had lots and lots of orphans without their parents, or children without parents, children without sentient beings to guide them, and they could only be guided by the state, the government, the government
That
in.
governs over your mind.
Oh, we're on it today, Richard. So these children would be put in workhouses, orphanages, churches, and state schools to be brainwashed into where we are today.
That's all coming down. That's all coming down.
But this is how they set it up. Okay. Now, that's one kind of thing that they created a world full of workers and
Mhm,
workers that were only clever enough to press a button when they're told to, not question, think, and critically think about things in the world. Okay. Now,
mhm.
that's one of the reasons. But as Richard knows, because I've told him this just before the show, because obviously this is quite a big one. When you've had a reset, and I believe the reset was in 1774 when the majority of the population was wiped out around that period, because it's
Uh-huh.
the Phoenix event, and we have a long period of time where there's not many people, properties are dug back out. This is where we have the mud flood stuff from, and we have all these photographs of all these cities with nobody in it. Nobody in. You've got photographs, nobody in it.
I saw those. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, by the end of the 1800s, there's people everywhere again. So we go from no people to lots of people,
Uh-huh.
right? Or very few people, rather, to lots of people. Now, if those very few people that survived all of this were true sentient source player beings,
Hmm.
they would have been very difficult to control because they would have been sovereign, powered beings with all the memories and all the knowledge from their Tartarian past inside them
Hmm.
online. Big, bold, and proud, as Richard would say. Yeah.
Not proud and online. Yeah.
Now, what would be a way to stop that kind of movement and slow it down, to water it down? It would be to flood the world with clones who do not have that sentient connection and the
Dilute.
and dilute it by the interbreeding of these people. Now, what I'm talking about, okay, glass of water. If this glass of water was the true sentient beings and it's juice, and when you take a taste, you drink it, oh, It's too strong. Well, if you fill this glass up full to the top of water, you've then made this juice palatable. But we're not talking about palatable here. We're talking about controllable.
Dilution. Oh,
We're talking about controllable
I love that.
and moldable into the collective consciousness of the control system of the 1% to make the population do what they wanted, because you flesh of the goose, because you had less sentient, true sentient beings kicking their ass.
Yeah.
And that's now changing, because we're now coming back online and we are remembering. Oh, I'm getting the flesh of the goose now properly. We're flesh of the goose, and we're now remembering. We're coming back online. We are becoming. We're remembering, because what the dumb elites did not reckon upon is the water memory and the DNA memory within the sentient beings. Because even though they bred and interbred with clones and they diluted the connection to source, we were still fundamentally, physiologically, the same beings.
Yes.
And the DNA would have been passed from generation to generation to generation to generation, and more fans. He's going to run out of biro pens soon. You're going to have to send him some biro pens, Femi. Right, so what we would have got was that through the generations that this watering down would have happened, the DNA memory would have been still within us. They say, oh, we only use X amount of our brain. There's only 2 strands out of 12 of the DNA we use, and all this sort of claptrap. Yeah. They couldn't take it out. Now, they may have tried to take it out using various methods. Okay. But fundamentally, they have been unable to change the water memory or the DNA memory that we have inside us from thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. And I firmly believe now, as we come to the end times, revelations, this kind of period in time where the window's going to open, where we will ascend out of here, that with Mother Gaia coming back online, the Schumann resonance, the energy, the frequencies around us are now activating us back. And those of us with the mental wanting to connection to our higher self, which was just enough, we're now coming back online, and there's nothing they can do about it. They will try, and they are trying, but there's nothing they can do about it. Our DNA is reactivating, our memories are reactivating, and we are beginning to remember and come into our true power once again. And that's huge. And again, I keep going back to Operation Looking Glass. And the reason why they shut Operation Looking Glass down, as far as I'm concerned, in 2012, was that whatever they did, whatever they tried, they could not stop if you want to call it the Great Awakening, the transition out of this realm, the reactivation of us, our true sentient being selves. Have you been somewhere?
Well, yes, I had someone at the door again. Yes. And it's funny.
Show them, show them.
Well, yesterday I was doing a video with Jenny May, my sister, right? And about a crystal shopping, like we made out like bandits. Bonnie and Clyde strike again at the crystal warehouse because everything was so cheap. And as we were filming, I heard knocking, and I said, "Did it knock?" And Jenny May said, "No." I said, "Well, is it you who used the crystal and did that?" She says, "Yeah." So Then I wake up this and I kept it to show. I had a box of French fries that was left there, and I don't know who from. Like a French fry, just like that, in a box on my doorstep. I'm not going to eat it because I don't know who it comes from, but I wanted to show. So this is what happens very often at my door while I'm doing videos. This time it wasn't that, it was a delivery. So, because my mom ordered something for outdoors, I had to ask a few questions. So, yeah.
So, Richard,
Yes.
could you either do the pendulum or the cards
Yes, I can.
on?
Well, let's
Am
do
I?
the cards.
Yes, do the cards. Am I correct in the fact that they created or they flooded us with clones to try and water us down to stop us getting to the ascension levels and the great awakening that's now happening?
Okay, so it came in at a time of inner outer warring with the five of wands. All right, let's see what else I can get. My brother, my beautiful family that we love. One more shuffle. All right, let's rock and roll. So the first one that came out that flipped out was your question was out of outer warring. That's the past. Next, what do we have? We have everything flip-flopped. All right, so the Wheel of Fortune. So outer warring, and then something changed. Then we do have, because it was making everyone on the outskirts of feeling abundant with themselves, with their surrounded, feeling secluded. Then in the now moment, we do have, okay, so a lot of people or the situation is bringing sorrow because this one, although I don't like saying Debbie Downer anymore, it's like a former Debbie Downer. And then at the heartbeat, we do have the Khazarian Mafia that's there. Okay. So there's a lot. Next, healing is coming on. Look, Dolly Parton. I enhanced her with a bra because I was forced to by YouTube. So now she is enhanced for the future. We do have all our wishes are manifested and granted with the Nine of Cups. Then we do have, in the time of juggling, making a decision. We are manifesting everything that we want, but we got to make a decision with the two of pineapples here. Okay, so think wisely. And then we end with a new day, a new dawn. This is very similar to the Fool's card, a new journey, reincarnation, high hopes, clarifying spread. We do have, okay, we're again for the second appearance today, my brother Gary. We're revisiting, analyzing all the seeds that we have planted under our belt to see what they spurt into. Heartbeat, yes. Emotional grants of the universe, elixir of life. Now I'm coming back full circle to the beautiful elixir of life that's underground Antarctica. And then we end with, because we've been uncomfortable for a very long period of time, but we're being awakened, the awakening times, the ascension symptoms, being made aware, clarifying in the golden major arcanas. All right, so these 4, 5 flew out. So yeah, we're going into permanent healing down the road with the Temperance. It's the end of an old world for the rebirth. She's a Dolly Parton right now with her enhancement because we have creator, the aspect there that's there online in regards to secrets who were sponsored by the Khazarian Mafia.
So that's a big fat yes to what I told you, family, basically, isn't it? And that's a
It's a big yes.
It's great. You know, the cards are confirmed that.
And I got the Khazarian Mafia twice.
So the Khazarian Mafia were fully involved with the clone manufacturing to water us down, to stop what's coming that they wanted to stop that could
But
not.
they failed. Because guess what? We also got the creator here, loud, proud, and online.
And the world
Everything
card.
was a secret.
Yeah. And the world card, from things are swapping
These
over.
creeps.
I know.
All right, so Heartbeat, because that's the name of this one, Heartbeat. Am I accurate in everything that I deciphered, all the Polaroids that I got in regards to, yeah, it's them coming down the tower moment. It's them. Secrets of the universe are coming online. Everything's going to flip flop in our fortune. Justice with the karmic punch. We gain strength as humanity. We're coming out of a dark night of the soul. Judgment is coming on. A wake up call. Awaken, children. Death of the old for the rebirth of the new. It's all been magic. But now we got the sun coming on. We got Gaia coming on. We got a new day, a new dawn. And now we're going for healing for the age of Aquarius. Don't you love it when the cards are just placed like a stack and then it's like,
But you couldn't make that up.
oh, you can't make this
You know,
shit up.
that was
No, yeah,
that is just,
yeah,
and again, it just shows you how bang on we are and what we're
yeah.
talking about, and
Yes.
and the implications of what have been fundamentally the clone wars, because this has
Yes.
been a clone war actually.
From the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like again, the Matrix is a documentary.
Yeah.
Like I really like the third one, like because those stupid octopus there,
My
they
favorite's
were
the first one.
feral, right? They really want to destroy sentient. They had rabies.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite's still the first one, but the fourth one, the last one's actually pretty good as well. But not so much as a film, but as in the message. Because
I didn't like it as much. I should listen to it again, maybe.
Mm.
What did you get from it as a message, my brother?
Well, the message was that the the skullduggery of the separation of the divine masculine and the divine feminine of
Oh,
Neo and
okay.
Trinity,
Yes.
um, whatever they did, despite playing around with the programming and despite all the skullduggery, they could not be stopped from joining together. And as once the divine feminine and divine masculine came together, they then destroyed the control mechanism and the old paradigm, and they came up onto the surface to begin the fool's journey again.
I gotta watch it again because I don't remember any of that.
And in
I
between
just
that
didn't
was one
like
big
it as
fight scene.
much. Like it just like it wasn't as good, or maybe it was my mindset. I didn't trust it. Maybe I don't know.
The thing is, I actually I've been watching a few films recently, old films that I've seen before, but I wanted to
Like
see.
what?
One was Cowboys and Aliens, which was again a very similar. So Cowboys and Aliens is Harrison Ford and the James Bond actor, what's his name, Daniel Craig, and a few others, and it's fundamentally about creepy crawlers coming into the realm, stealing people to feed off their loosh,
Okay,
and the people come in and join together eventually, and one of these people turns out to be a benevolent off-worlder who helps guide them, and they pull their power back, and different clans join together to attack the creepy crawlers.
I love
And
it.
what they do eventually is they free the people and they destroy the creepy crawlers. And there we
So
go.
it's almost like the same copy paste as Zion.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like there was a time where I was doing movies and I was going to Los Angeles, not just as an actor, but as a producer, right? So a co-producer. And I had this amazing like concept that came like, let's do a movie, you know, like because I was doing horror movies at the time. or like action horror, and I'm going like, what would happen? Let's invert this. We all like get possession movies like The Exorcist or The Exorcism of Emily
Was it
Rose or
Rose
stuff like
Jones or
that.
something? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what if we do like a movie of a demon that actually wants to be like good? And now he's got the whole demon side, like being demonic, but this is a demon that, oh, my biggest Farrah Fawcett dream is to be good. Like I was planning at inverting like a script here. Like you start with demonic and you end with angelic as
Yeah,
opposed to the opposite.
yeah, 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 yeah. But if you think about it, in modern television, there's a program called Lucifer, isn't there? With a British actor in it.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
Lucifer in that starts off being pretty demonic, but actually gets fascinated by the human psyche,
And he
and
gets good.
and he turns into a goody, and
Oh,
he's beneficial for his own personal selfish reasons, of course, because he's Lucifer. But fundamentally, what he ends up doing is beneficial. But 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 for me, when you really know who Lucifer is, you then understand lots of things. And I'm not going to go there in
yeah.
this show. But if you want to watch one of my very recent ones that um, I did it 3 or 4 days ago. Oh my God. I should have really called it a teeth out one because I took the teeth out, sharpened the teeth, and
Well, I
clicked on
gotta
it.
go watch this video.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think it's.
send it to me.
Let me just double check what I called it because it's it really is quite a I what was it? The Merkaba, the satanic symbol of worship.
You know, in the Merkaba, I remember someone gave me, so yes, after if you can, because this is the thing, fam, we're both so busy now that we don't even have each other's times to watch our own videos. It took me 3 days to watch a video with Gary and Sonia, which is amazing. And I highly recommend you go watch. But Merkaba, yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So I remember years ago, like 10 years ago, someone gave me a baby tiger-eyed Merkaba. And upon receiving it, guess what happened? One of the tooth snapped out without even falling on the ground because I touched it. Merkaba is bullshit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, what we're talking about with the clones is just one of the many things that this creature, the AI control. I mean, I call it Janus. Janus is a very easy way to call this creature because this creature is fundamentally Janus in one of its gauges.
Yes.
Because Janus is is the god of actors, and an actor will put on multiple faces to
Yes.
create the illusion of something. And again, again, but we are talking about the inversion of this realm and the things that they have done to stop us getting to where we're going to, which they can't do. But in
They
the
can do.
meantime, they can cause as much mayhem as they possibly can.
If you let them.
Precisely. But again, it's a choice. It's a personal choice. Do you want to get drawn into their energy, or do you want to, like Richard and myself, observe it but don't absorb the energy and go
That's right.
blow you? I nearly swore then. Blow you. But you know
You're
what I'm saying.
fun.
I tell you what, Richard, as you were talking
But
about Hollywood,
yes.
yeah, shall we just finish this show
Mhm.
off on the delightfully
Yes.
satanic Disney? And
Yes.
for all of you
Let's
guys
go.
who have just upset by saying Disney is satanic, Oh
Oh,
my
come on, guys. If
God.
you're watching our channel, come on. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I've actually got, and I should I've been holding this back, but I've actually got images drawn by Walt Disney of Mickey Mouse as Baphomet.
I believe it. I've never seen it, but I've scanned his
with with
energy.
with
It's not good.
33,
It's not good. He's
yeah,
he's a Mason. Yeah,
33
yeah,
degree Masonic.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
And he loves children.
there we go. Enough said, really, in that one. But Disney has been cloning its major stars for many, many years. And I would like to just highlight two of those stars because these two, if you look at their story, it's quite tragic in many respects, but also highlights the sickness of Disney, but also the modern day cloning and almost slavery system of those clones that is happening. Now,
Okay.
I am talking about Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus or Miley Cyrus.
Right away, what I get from Justin Bieber, I feel victim. Her, I feel like priestess. It's weird.
He's
It's
definitely a
weird. It's
victim.
weird. I don't like his I like metal. I like rock and roll. I don't like it. I don't even know one song he did.
No,
But you said this right away. I have compassion for him. I don't like her. And it's funny because Dolly Parton would be, yes, the godmother of Miley Cyrus. They do look alike, don't they?
kind of. But there's actually a program, a
Like
video.
physically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
there's actually a program. Um, I might have it saved somewhere. It takes some digging out. But some of the Femi who've been going for good few years would have possibly seen this. And this is a Disney production film of them boasting and showing the cloning of Cyrus and Bieber. And they actually talk about how they created them from clones. It's in your face. You know what I mean? And again,
I get a yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even need cards. I
No,
like,
no.
yeah.
But
I can do it if you want, but I
no,
get a
no, not at the
kickback. Yes.
moment.
Yeah.
But because there will be, I think there will be a card reading from this anyway. But we have two childhood actors who were always part of the Disney system, who did very lovely, innocent childhood children programs, who, as soon as they became into young adults, their
They
images
break down.
turned, they were
Mm.
sexualized. And remember, sex is one of the major control mechanisms of these people as well. They were sexualized, and in the case of Justin Bieber, I am sure I saw somewhere where P Diddy's involved in this,
Yeah.
but I think he had a child, and he actually said that they murdered my child. Now, I don't know. I haven't looked into it because I'm not a Disney fan. This is just going from my recollections, Femi, but clearly something is going on. Now, if you got Priestess from his clone sister,
Yes,
was
I like she's dark. I don't
were
think he's dark.
no, were he's a victim. I mean,
Yes.
I've actually seen. Is it Kate Perry?
I don't
Graph.
like that.
No,
That's
no.
a swear word.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I've seen
That
that.
name's a swear word.
I've seen that foul creature sexually molesting Bieber and
Ah, yeah,
pushing
I
him. Yeah,
can't.
right.
I can't. I can't.
Anyway, grabbing it. But the question is, Was Miley Cyrus, I'm wondering, connected in with Bieber's child,
Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
which is the
You want to
inversion and
know if
the.
she's connected to the death of his child?
I don't want to go any more than that. I don't want to go any more than that, people.
I can't. I'm gonna cry. Like I
I know.
can't
I'm
do
so
this
sorry, Richard,
anymore. No, it's not your fault. It's just I'm feeling everything.
but, and I do as well. But people, please understand how dangerous Disney is in the cloning and how sick these shits are and how horrid this really is. Okay, because these poor clones have been used and abused even to our modern day on television for nefarious, sick reasons. Okay. And with that, we're going to leave that one alone. Okay. I do apologize, Richard, because I didn't really want to take you down, but I just got told that and I felt the Femi probably
I know.
needed to understand the sickness and the twistedness
I
of
know.
Disney
I love
Corporation.
you. I love you. I
Yeah.
love you. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just because the images that I get, I feel them. I
Yeah.
feel the emotion of the victim,
Yeah.
and my power is getting stronger. It's
Yes.
stronger. Like every time it's more. It's more. It's like why
I
are you
know.
doing this to these children?
I know. I know. But this is part of the Clone War, and this is what we're up against, and this is what we're beating. And we're beating it by our love, our high vibrational energy,
Yes.
and
Okay.
not giving this energy to them. You, we've gone in enough now. You know what's going on, and we're leaving it at that stage now, all right? But we've got this. We've had this for a long time. But remember, the devil has many faces. Janus has many faces, and they will use any kind of thing that they can to cause trouble and disharmony and discord amongst people. This
Yes.
realm is full of gatekeepers at the moment, and in the near future, some of these gatekeepers are going to come a cropper publicly in front of everybody. And there's plenty of gatekeepers on YouTube, I can assure you,
Yes.
as well as the mainstream and everywhere else. All right. So, blessings, Richard. I do appreciate that. Love, light, and blessings, my friends. I'm sorry that we went down that road, but there we go.
It's not your fault. Like it just happens. That's who I am now.
I just got the
No, I
knowing,
just go
and
there.
my gob
But
had to
I'm
go.
okay. Home Alone. Ah!
Ah,
Oh my God, you're so fucking cute.
that's been a real roller coaster of a ride of a show
Yeah, it was a
from the
good one. I liked it.
from the
Yeah,
beginning of time,
yeah,
going back to the Cro-Magnon and all this stuff, all the way to the modern times.
yeah,
Hopefully, the
yeah,
Femi can see consistently how that we have been
yeah.
abused just as much as the clones have been abused by this 1%, this dark satanic black cube worshipping cult that has got its fingers over everything. Now, Richard,
Yes,
when you did your meditation,
yeah.
did you happen to be given any lovely last words?
Oh yes, I got invocations. I was thinking about Justin right now, and I
Oh,
was
bless him.
like, trying to deal with like I was doing my own thing because now there's something that I want to free Justin Bieber. Like I think I might do I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel he's trapped. I don't like her.
Yeah,
I like
he is
him.
trapped. Yeah, he is.
So that's what's going on with your Uncle Richie. All right, so yes, guys, Femi, I got let me regroup. I got two invocations.
Superb. Really looking forward to hearing them.
And usually I have one invocation, but I knew that today it was like two different aspects that touch to something very primal from the beginning of time. So let me find my first one, my beautiful Femi of love. So the first one, since we're talking about clones, it is called Clone Contract Revocation Invocation. Are you ready? I call forth all timelines, all dimensions, and all fractals of my soul. I stand in the golden restoration, the living light of the original template. I revoke, rescind, and nullify any contract, agreement, or binding, ball and chain, that ever gave permission for my essence to be copied, split, harvested, or held captive. I withdraw my life force from all false bodies, clone farms, trauma loops, or soul siphons across Atlantis, the Anunnaki grids, Egypt, Rome, Hollywood, and every shadow realm in between. I call my fragments home. I reclaim my plasma body. The Christos Sophia flame within me. I seal and harmonize my DNA strands, living, sovereign, organic. No being may use my essence as fuel. I am restored. I am whole. I am free. And so it is.
And so be it. Superb.
Yay!
That was a super. And you've got another one for us as well, then, Richard.
Well, I do, because after my meditation, it just came like, I need to have a second one. So, did you like that one, my brother?
I loved that one. And do you know what? From
Right.
what we've been talking about today, you couldn't have, isn't it crazy that
That ahead of time that I know.
I've got
I
flesh of the
know.
goose, flesh of the goose.
Okay, so let me just, because I got so much information here. So I almost got it, my brother, my family. So I did the clone contract. Okay, that one I didn't. So right now I'm looking for plasma body activation invocation. So what does that mean? Because we are talking, right, Femi, that everything is plasma, everything is liquid. The universe is liquid. We are liquid. Under hollow earth, it's liquid. And that's what's coming back online. It's our plasma liquid. Like think about like the liquid when you're pregnant, and that kind of liquid, it's like a jelly liquid. It's got a life force attachment. It is source. So because we were talking about clones and hijacked whatever's, like it came after, like we got to talk about like bringing back like this beautiful essence, which is plasma. So are you ready? Would you like to hear it, my Gargard?
I would love to hear it,
Ah,
my
Home Alone.
Mrs.
Oh my God, you're so cute when you do that. Like Femi, don't you find he's like the cutest? Like if he was a hamster, wouldn't you want to rock him in your hands? Come on, I do. Oh yeah, rock my guard, yeah. Okay, plasma body, Femi. Activation, invocation. All right. I stand now as a living fractal of source. I call my plasma body back online. The living ocean that runs through my bones, my breath, my being. I welcome the solar codes to awaken my crystalline DNA. I drink the waters to remember. I am the river, the well, the dragon's last breath. I declare my firewall restored. No parasite, copy, or false program may anchor my light. I am unsimulatable, bitches. I weave my soul fragments back through dream time. Remember what I said about your dreams? I dissolve the siphon that fed upon my pain. I reclaim my sovereign timeline, the singular. I walk in now, not as a copy, but as the original living blueprint. My plasma body, all those liquids, radiates out. Shield, sword, song, and ocean. I am the breath of the kings sleeping in the earth. I am the return of the dragons to the crystal's waters. I am the solar tide rising from the flesh. So it is, so it is, so it is. A trinity. Yay.
Very good. That was
Did
brilliant.
you like it?
I love them both. They were both very good, both very different, but also the same message. Wonderful.
Well, they have encoding into them, right? So, because that's what I do. I go within, I go meditate, and then I record. And it's a different language than me because that comes from my inner flame, right? It's not an outside entity. It's connected to my highest. The language is more beautiful and profound. It's dragon lineage, isn't it?
Yes.
But I love it too, right? So that's very powerful. And we're going to put it, Femi, into the description box as a
we will.
PDF. Because you might want to, if you choose to upload it and channel it, because the Great Awakening, it's happening. We're in it. There's no running away from it. Either we step into it, or like the singer, the opera singer singing opera and exploding the glass. I know you're not going to be that. So come on board, do the work. Because these times of wanting for a quick pill solution is over.
It is.
We all have to be on board, you know, and have fun. Be on board as inner child. What did you lose? Bring that kid out. It'll make it easier. Right? I mean, in the end.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. No, we're on a roller coaster ride, and there's nothing going to stop this ride now. You know,
There's nothing. But I
and
feel the roller coaster is now like here.
yes,
It's not that anymore.
no, it's right
We're on
ready
the
to.
first. Yeah, yeah.
Whoa!
And me, I'm at the front, right?
There
So come with my arms like that. Going, yeah.
you
Oh my God, you're so cute.
go.
Oh my God. Oh. You must have been fun as a child, you.
No, I think I was quite miserable.
Were you?
Yeah.
Because
No,
you have the inner. I look at you and I see it like you're the child. Oh, you reawakened the child. That's what happened. Okay.
yeah,
Because he's very vibrant. Like
yeah,
every time I look at you, he's there.
yeah,
Okay, so he was miserable, but that's okay. I was a loner. I
yeah,
had no
yeah.
friends
I was the
when I was a
same.
kid. Yeah.
Yeah, very few friends, if any, and I used to love my fishing. I still do love fishing, and I, I was a very strange childhood, really, where I would spend all my weekends fishing by the side of a lake, often with middle-aged drunk men fishing
Oh,
away, and all the swear words and all the dirty stories that go with life. And so I had a very, very interesting childhood and education.
did you like it?
Oh my God, I wouldn't share it for
Okay, so you loved it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because I mean, like all the things that you used to hear, and it was just, it was a real eye opener of
Okay.
real, genuine men, proper blokes who love their fishing, but also there's no women around. So it really is uncensored blokes being blokes, and the true male essence of it all, in a really nice way of bonding next to nature, which is a very unique kind of
See, I
really,
never had that view.
yeah,
No, I never got that. Uh, I,
it's
I like it, but I
yeah,
don't I don't know what that is. Yeah, I
yeah,
like it, but I don't know
yeah.
what that. Uh,
Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, like some of the stories I used to hear about some of the sexual exploits of some of the guys, it's just like, and it's like 10, 11 years old, hearing all these things go, oh, wow, okay, great, it's just, but it wasn't dirty or filthy, or it was just life. You know what I mean?
right.
And the observation of life and men being men and men, that connection of men together. It was just nice, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world. I met some amazing people, and I still know many amazing people, and it's been the thing inside me that no matter what's happened in my life has been the one constant in my life. I've always had my fishing. I've always, and again, I'm quite happy with my own company. So I'm quite happy to go down a lake and fish a great big lake. All I'm the only person on there. So it's me,
And the lake.
the fish, and nature all around me,
So
and
do you
nothing
eat all
else.
your fish, or like
No,
is it like
they,
you?
they they all get looked after very, very nicely. They when we catch them, they go on something called an unhooking mat that protects them, and
Oh,
we
it's a big deal.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, and we weigh them in a proper nice soft mesh to see how much they weigh if they're a big fish, and we photograph them and we put them back, and they all swim off strongly and healthy.
So you do it really like just for activity, sports?
Yeah, sports really,
But
but
doesn't it? I don't think it hurts them. The hook does it hurt them?
no, no,
Like I don't feel it hurts them.
no,
No.
their mouths have these strange pain receptors, and because fish are so used to picking up shells and sharp things, they can't even tell when they're hooked, apart from
Oh,
there's a
that's what I'm
resistance.
tapping into.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So it's not actually cruel. It may seem, and it's not actually cruel, but the fish are not harmed, and actually in some of the lakes that we fish, there's carp that are over 50 years old that have been caught probably 40 or 50 times and are still swimming around as healthy as they were 50
How
years
big would
ago.
that be? 50 years old? Like, is
Um,
it like a diet, like a monster? Like,
yeah,
what is
sometimes
that?
sometimes
Or
they can be anything from around 20 pounds to 40 or 50 pounds. I
wow,
mean,
that's
a
crazy.
big fish, you know, but you know, the
So
anglers
you
that
like the calmness because that's what it is, huh? Like grounding, that's your grounding. Being in the water with Gaia, like listening to nature, not making a sound. Like, okay, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, I get
And,
it.
and see, from choice, I now only fish lakes with very few fish in it. So the chances of catching are really quite slim. So when you do catch one, it's like you climb Mount Everest. Do you know what I mean? So currently, so
Yeah.
currently I'm yeah. So currently I'm fishing a lake that's 65 acres inside. In the UK, 65-acre lake is a very big lake.
Mhm.
And in this lake are 40 carp that I want to catch. So there's less than one fish per acre and a half, really. And most of the lake is snaggy. They can get away from me, and so it's more like camping and being at one with nature, with
Yeah,
the
I get it.
chance of, however slim, of catching a fish. So I'm not actually really like it's that hunter mode. It's the ancient primeval hunter
Yes, I
mode,
get
isn't it?
it.
You know. But
Yeah.
so I've made an active choice that I don't want to catch fish after fish after fish after fish. I
Mhm.
just want to catch the special ones on my terms in the most difficult fisheries in the country and
Oh,
love it.
I got like 10% left.
Oh, well, we better go then. We better go.
But no, thank you for sharing that because yeah, I eat fish. Like I don't eat meat. I
Yeah.
eat eggs, I eat cheese, I eat fish. But thank you for sharing that, because I think that's very fun for everyone to understand because it is like a primordial, like that hunting, but it's more than grounding and connecting to Gaia, right?
So it's
Like
almost a form of meditation. It's almost a
it
form of meditation.
You don't have to go ooh, you can go in the water. Okay, before I lose juice, so me younger, I think I was 11, so I'm gonna go fish with my best friend at the time. His name was Stefan. Fucking freak. He told me to hold a hook while he was gonna reel and then he pulled and the whole hook went through my hand. So I didn't like fishing after that.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at
I
all.
had a whole hook, like, yeah. I just remember that now with you sharing your story. And well, that's funny. Yay! So, is there
Superb
anything we
show.
wanted to add to the
No,
family, my
no,
beautiful
I
brother?
think we hit the nail on the head with that. I think we gave the Femi a really good idea on the fact that cloning and clones is not
I
a new
think
thing,
so.
and it goes
Yeah,
on to the modern day.
yeah,
And part of the nefarious reasons of them using clones to water down the bloodline, as well as create worker bees for them to put into debt slavery fundamentally, and all the other bits and pieces they
yes.
do. So
And
there
we're
you go.
breaking the shackles.
We are. We are. Because once you're aware of it and you understand it, there is nothing that there's no fear. It's just a, yeah, okay, we get it.
The
Jog off.
fear was theirs that we'd get here. It was never ours. It was their fear.
Correct.
Oh my God, what happens? Well,
Yeah.
stop existing. Go away. We don't want you anymore. Go away. Yeah, be gone. Like, yeah. Poof.
Yeah.
All right, Femi. So we hope you did enjoy this glorious episode of, well, what episode was this? 16,
I think no
17?
20, I think.
20. We're already at
Yeah,
20.
20, I
I
think.
love it. Congratulations, my brother. We're at 20.
I know. I'm sure it's 20.
Do you know how much I love you?
About that much.
This much.
Oh
This much.
wow.
You're my brother. I love you so much, and I love what we're doing, and
So
I
do
can
I.
see
You
that
know,
our sisters, our family, they enjoy it very
they
much.
do.
And so, beloved ones, we'll catch you all on the next episode of Rocking Pandora's Box. Thank you for watching. Rock
Mwah.
and roll. We
Bye,
love
everyone.
you back.
Blessings. Mwah.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hmm.